All right, y'all. Welcome back to Light Conversations, where we bring light to dark situations. All right, if you don't know me, my name is Nishatti, and to my right, I got my boy John. My man's no spaces.
I think we should address the elephant in the room.
Let's address it.
Everybody's been asking.
Okay.
Who's that rapper in the intro? And I think we should tell him. It's me.
If you didn't know, man, the cat's out the bag. I'm sorry, but the cat's out the bag.
So please, no autographs.
Right.
No, I can't come to your sister's wedding and perform.
Please, no pictures.
Yeah, no pictures, please.
Right.
Screenshots are fine because, you're watching the video. So
I told y'all he was the blackest white guy I knew, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He's coming with it, man.
So, yeah. I thought I'd just get that off the chest.
Easy work, though. He was killing it, though, right? Man, show my boy some love. Show my boy some love there. Yeah. All right, John, man, we back, man. Another episode. We back on another episode. Man, my goal is 10 so far. I'm just going to be honest with you. I told you, most entrepreneurs stop before that 10th episode. So
this is, what, 5?
Easy 5. I don't even want to put a number on it because they no telling that we're going to do, but we up there, though. Easy work.
Yeah, we're ready.
Come on, man. Let's get into it then, John. What are we talking about today, brother?
Today, we're going to talk about reasons why people shouldn't be an entrepreneur. So I think the reason why...
Hold on. I'm not going to let you just flash past that, man. This is the Entrepreneur Podcast, bro. You talking about why they shouldn't be an entrepreneur?
You say you don't want me to flash past that because I'm white? Is that what that says?
Come on, man. Here you go. You see what you do, but he's something else. That is not your line.
I think
that is not your line.
No, that's what we do as white people. We take other things that are not ours, right? And then we just call them our own.
You said it, not me. I can't comment on that.
Yeah. I think in today's hashtag culture, the word entrepreneur means something completely different.
Okay.
So it's like everybody. So every douchebag with an Instagram has on their profile hashtag entrepreneur, hashtag hustler, hashtag grinder.
Go get her.
And I'm just gonna say right now, like if you just have a bunch of side hustles, you're not an entrepreneur.
Okay, what is the side hustle?
So to me, a side hustle. So okay, let me answer the question first. Like one of the reasons I think the number one reason why I think you shouldn't be an entrepreneur is if you're not comfortable being uncomfortable. And there's a bunch of things that go into that.
Okay,
right?
give us some.
So if you're not comfortable being uncomfortable means like you got to burn the boats. And what I mean by that is like, so back in the day with like the wars and stuff, there was a general that when they would go and they would attack other people, they would literally burn the boats that they came in on, right? Because what does that mean? It means there's no coming back.
Ain't no going
back. You better win.
Yeah.
Right? There is no lifeline. There is no like, hey, let me try this. It's not working. Let me bounce. Right?
Yep.
So if you're not able to burn the boats, which then make you very uncomfortable, you don't have that mentality where you're like, okay, no matter what, I'm going to be successful in this thing.
Yep.
Then you shouldn't be doing it at all.
Oof.
Right? So if you're not comfortable having uncomfortable conversations with your best friend saying, hey, I can't hire you because you're not very good at your job. Or like, hey, maybe you did hire him and you're not doing a good job.
You're trying to kill a whole friendship, fam.
Or it's like, maybe it's your family even. Maybe your sisters, your brothers, your whatever are in there working with you.
Yes.
And you're like, hey, listen, it's not working out. And you got to fire your sisters or your brothers.
That would hurt. That would hurt. Yeah.
And it's like, if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to be uncomfortable, then don't do it at all. You know? And so the side hustle thing is this is my soapbox.
Go ahead.
We're gonna have.
Hey, he out to the soapbox.
I'll
here
tell you, it's gonna be like a little John
ride.
Soapbox is gonna be like
Yeah.
Like that.
Come on with it.
But it's like if you have a side hustle, by the very definition of a side hustle, means it's not your real thing.
Yeah.
It's not your main thing.
Yep.
And if it's not your main thing, then you're not an entrepreneur. Now you might be a hustler. I'm not gonna take that away from you.
Okay.
Like you might be whatever, but like if you're not willing to just give it your 100%, your absolute focus, then you're not actually like you don't have a chance. And that's why you should be an entrepreneur. Wow. If you're not willing to make the trade-offs, so it's like uncomfortability and not willing to make the trade-offs, which kind of go hand in hand, then you absolutely should not be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Oof. Okay. I'll let that breathe. I had a different one in my head down, but now I'm gonna go to a different one. Why you shouldn't be an entrepreneur? Because entrepreneurs are risk takers.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur risk. Listen, I know some people got bad anxiety. I feel you on that. I understand you, but like that can kick in when you in entrepreneurship. You have to take risks. Like some things, sometimes there's not information pointing to this. There's not a person who's told you how to do this. It's a gut feeling because this is your vision.
Yeah.
So God or whatever you believe in. For me, it's the Holy Spirit has told me, okay, boom, go and do this. I'm on it. And it looks crazy to everybody else. Everybody else but you. But it was given to you, not them. So they only respect the end results. They'll never understand the in between. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just like, if you not, you have to be a risk taker. Risk takers are money makers, as they say. You know what I mean? But like, you have to take risks, and it's an uncomfortable feeling. Like even your spouse, they love you, or the person, your significant other, or your friends, they love you, but they're not seeing it how you see it. So it's just like, you even got that. It's cool to take that risk when somebody else is taking that risk with you. But when you jumping out on that boat and it's all you all by yourself, it's like, did I do this the right? What if this doesn't happen? Listen. Be ready to take risks if you're going to be an entrepreneur. Put it all on the line I think it's just, like, frankly, and this is going to be rude, and I guess maybe those are our roles. You know, you're the light guy and I'm the rude guy. But it's Come on with it.
But it just doesn't matter. Whatever you're going through doesn't matter. If you have anxiety, doesn't matter. You got to do the job.
Yep.
If you're like, holy crap, how am I going to pay these guys? It doesn't matter. You got to figure it out.
Ooh, wee.
Right? It's like, hey, so-and-so called in, and I don't have another person. You got to go do it. It doesn't matter how you feel.
Ooh.
It's like, hey, it's my kid's 3rd birthday party. I can't miss it. Oh my gosh, all my guys called out. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? You got to go do it. Oh. It doesn't matter.
Oh, you took me right to my next point.
Go ahead.
You took me right to my next point. The reason why you shouldn't be an entrepreneur, let me look at it. It looks so good. You're forced to do the unwanted work. The phrase, I don't do that, does not exist. The phrase, I don't do that, does not exist.
Or I can't do that.
Okay, there we go. The phrase, I can't do that, does not exist. Because if somebody calls in and says they're sick, you have to do that. Yep. If something breaks down, you have to pay for that. If you didn't make no money, you still have to pay your employees. Just as he said, like, who wants to... I know you're good. I know you're the visionary, because some of us are the visionaries, and that was our vision. That's how we do it. We got to carry out, but you're going to have to get your hands dirty. And I'm telling you, from a personal standpoint, like, man, I just came back from working on the house, right?
Yeah. Send me a photo. You're covered.
Oh my gosh, y'all! I'm in here. If anybody knows me, y'all get to know me. I don't like doing all that. I'm not hey, listen, I'm a thinker. My thinker is my money maker. But me doing that hands-on painting and sanding, and I was doing every single thing. But guess what? How can I ask you to do it when I ain't willing to get there and get dirty? Yep. I'm talking about up at 7 a.m. in there to 2 a.m. like getting it in, because it's my baby. And you know. This is another reason why you should not be an entrepreneur. I've been in this game for like, I'm fresh in it, right, y'all? I'm fresh in the real estate area. And so I've been doing it for maybe, 6-7 months. Guess what? Everybody that has worked with me has got paid. Except for me. Yep. Except for me. Everybody just gotten paid. Everybody, yeah. You do this service, I'm going to pay you for sure. But guess who hasn't got paid? Me. Because I have to be invested in the end result. I have to be invested in the longevity. What I'm seeing right now, I know it's going to happen, and it's my vision. So I have to just trust and believe, like, okay, I'm putting my life savings toward this, but somehow, some way, it's going to work out.
Well, and I bet you've had to have some uncomfortable conversations with you, your spouse, people that are close to you, going, Charles, are you sure?
Yeah.
You haven't even gotten paid for this. Maybe
there you go.
Go get a job.
Right. Exactly.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just talk about uncomfortable conversations. I told my wife, I said, all right, I'm headed back home to work on the houses. I'll be back in 3 days. 3 days turned to 11 days. Yeah, exactly. At this point, she's like, are you coming home?
No, let's play a quick game for everybody that's married.
Yeah.
Go to your spouse. Like, pause this episode. Go to your spouse and say, hey, I got to bounce for 11 days. Why? I'm going to do something for the business.
Yep.
See how that goes.
Yeah.
That's not going to go well.
And the worst part is, even 11 days, the worst part is they were expecting 3 days. Right. Don't tell a woman anything, because she's expecting you to come through on whatever that promise was. Yeah. So me saying 3 days and it turns to 11 days, I'm getting home. Usually when you come home after a few days, it's like, hey, babe, you home. I missed you. None of that happened. None of that. I'm just being transparent. None of that happened. But at the end of the day, she respected it, because she knows my heart, and she knows my grind. She knows I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure we fed and make sure that we are investing into our future. By this time next year, I want my wife to be job optional. You can work if you want to. If not, the business is feeding us. We all good. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to put, and I'm not knocking you if you're doing it right now because I've done it, but I'm not putting my finances in somebody else's hands. I don't, what do you say? If you give somebody the ability to feed you, they also have the ability to starve you.
Yeah, that's good. I'll also say, a lot of times when people are starting out businesses or wanting to be entrepreneurs, it's like they go into business with somebody. So a partnership, right?
Yep.
And you 100% shouldn't be an entrepreneur in a partnership if you don't really know that person.
Oh.
And what I mean by that is like, if you don't know that person's character, if you don't know that they're going to be out there, like when it gets rough, they're out there swinging the hammer with you, so to speak. You know? Then don't do it.
Exactly.
Right? Because there's going to be more strain on a partnership in business than almost anything else. You could even argue that even more than a marriage, right? Because it's finances, right?
You're so real.
So how you feed your family is the business, right? So then now all of a sudden there's this person that's not even willing to help feed your family, let alone theirs. There's going to be some problems
for sure.
So it's like whoever you get in. I was going to say bed with, but that's inappropriate.
But it's just, no. But you're exactly right because you're going half on a baby when y'all become partnerships.
No, 100%. It's a marriage. It really is. And so it's like if you are going to partner with somebody and then all of a sudden they have their birthday party for their 3-year-old kid and everybody calls out, are they going to show up?
Yeah.
Because if they're not, then don't do it with them.
Big facts.
It's just not worth it because you're going to be alone anyway. So you might as well be alone and savor the so-called friendship.
Yep, that's real.
Then be alone and ruin the friendship, So I just think that you shouldn't be an entrepreneur if you're just not willing to be uncomfortable. And what that means is just in all aspects of life. Like you have to live being uncomfortable for a long time. You have to be more uncomfortable. This is a little tidbit. You have to be more uncomfortable than anybody else in the whole world.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yep.
Just so then you could be more comfortable than anybody else in the whole world after that.
Oh, live life like nobody else. So in the end, you can live life like nobody else. I don't know where I heard that quote from, but it's exactly right, man. Like, oh my goodness. Because, so when you're in it's just stirring up so many feelings. When you're in that stage and you're building, man, everything is so uncertain. And if you ever, it don't matter if you got anxiety or don't, like, if you ever felt that feeling like, I don't know if I'm getting paid tomorrow. Let's go a little deeper. I don't know if we eating tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can pay our mortgage. I don't know if this light bill could. Okay, so can we turn off the water by any chance? And then, what about the gas? Okay, it's summertime, so let's not even worry about the gas right now. And you come on.
Or it's even worse than that. It's like, hey, I'm watching our bank account dwindle to nothing. We might not be able to pay the mortgage this month, and I got to take more money out to pay the guys. I mean, that happens. It happens.
Have you ever seen 1 cent in your bank account? I'm just gonna ask you. Like, I've seen it over time of investing, and just because you believe in yourself that much, you're gonna go all in. Have you ever seen 1 cent? I might screenshot it. 1 cent in your bank account before. I've screenshotted it before because I knew I was like, oh, this is a defining moment right here. Like, it's gonna. When that 1 cent turns into 100,000, when that 100,000 turns into 1 million, that's when you know it was worth it. But you'll never get there. You'll never see it if you don't lock in right now. If you don't put all your feelings to the side, if you don't put all the emotions to the side, like, listen, whatever it takes, I'm all in. You have to be all in.
Yep.
And you can't expect nobody else to be all in but you. It's a lonely road, but my God, it's going to be worth it in the end. Oh my goodness.
I think to that point, it's just like if you're one of those people that is just an idea guy or gal, then don't do it.
Yep.
Right. So it's like you can have the best ideas are a dime a dozen. The cheapest commodity in the entire world is ideas. Right.
Okay.
Everybody can have them.
Yeah.
Where you separate yourself is the implementation,
execution.
Hit them. So it's like
hit them.
You can do whatever you can have an idea and you can do nothing with it, or you can even start it. You can go through the motions, but then you don't have that like when you hit adversity, you don't have that push through. Right. You don't have that grit. Is what some people have written about. But it's like if you don't have that mentality, or if you don't have the ability to execute and consistently execute, then you're not going to make it.
Yep, for sure.
So if you already know that you're not going to make it, then why even start it?
Mentally prepare yourself. If you're not mentally prepared, like you said, like, oh, it's going to get ugly for you. It's going to get ugly. Oh, man, John, I don't know if I can sum it up any more than that, bro.
I think that
gosh.
the reason why you shouldn't be an entrepreneur
Go ahead.
is because you just don't want it bad enough. Right? So it's like, if you don't want it bad enough, if you don't want whatever entrepreneurship means to you, so maybe it means, financial freedom. Maybe it means giving back to your community. Maybe it means controlling your own schedule. But you don't understand that, like, that's not going to happen overnight. Everyone wants to talk about an overnight success.
Okay.
Like, you can take artists. It's like a one-hit wonder. You're like, you don't see the fact that they've been doing underground stuff for 10 plus years, right?
You ain't never lie.
Like, you want to talk about overnight success. It's like, they lost so much money for years.
Yes.
Or they're out there hustling for years.
Yep.
Before they're an overnight success.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like, if you just don't want whatever it is bad enough, if you don't want that business bad enough to have the uncomfortable conversations, to understand that it's going to be lonely, to burn your boats, to do any of that, then you shouldn't be an entrepreneur at all, because you're just not willing to do what it takes.
Okay. We was going to say this for another episode. We were just going to go ahead and tie it in right now. Should everyone be an entrepreneur?
No.
Okay. I'll listen to your take and I'll give you mine.
Well, I mean, it just ties directly in why you shouldn't, right?
Okay.
So if you're not willing to do that stuff, then don't be an entrepreneur at all.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So it's like, most people, and maybe you can disagree with me.
Yep.
But like, most people that I know that say they want to be in entrepreneurship, they want to do it for one of two reasons.
Tell me why.
Either A, they look at like the really successful entrepreneurs and they're like, hey, I want that. I want that wealth, right?
Yep.
Or it's like, they look at successful entrepreneurs that control their schedule.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you don't understand that, like, so there's different stages of entrepreneurship. There's a baby business.
Talk that talk.
There's like a middle stage business.
So you're right.
And then there's a large business. But it's like, until most people, so 9 out of 10 businesses fail, according to Forbes.
Yep.
Right? 9 out of 10 businesses fail. So out of that 1 out of 10 businesses that don't fail, most of them get stuck in that middle stage where the business is solely reliant on them, the business owner, to do it. So they don't get to control their own schedule.
Yep.
They're not sitting there paying themselves $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year.
Exactly.
Right? So like, there's sometimes they're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yep.
Paul being Paul, the guy that's working on the house, or whatever it is.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
So it's like, you don't understand that, like, most businesses are stuck. If the business owner got hit by a bus today, the business would cease to exist. There's I was actually reading something the other day that said, if the business owner was unable to perform in the business for 30 days, most businesses for 30 days, it would fold.
Gosh.
Right? And so it's like, so if that's why you're doing it, you're like, hey, you're looking at like the people that have been able to be uncomfortable, and like have these really tough conversations, and make all of these trade-offs to get to where they're at.
For sure.
And most people, even if they start a business and they actually like make it past the first year, can't even do that. So there's different stages, and it's like, so the stakes get higher, but the trade-offs get greater too.
Yeah.
So it's like, for a while you're gonna be sitting there, you're gonna be trading off your kid's bedtime, or you're gonna be trading off like,
seeing it going to a game.
I'm not going to lunch. I'm not watching TV anymore.
Oh, that's so
sports.
real.
What's sports?
That's a fact.
What's free time? You're spending what's sleep?
No, that's so real.
And so if you're not willing to make these trade-offs, then you're never going to get past the baby stage, let alone the other stages, right? So it's like, should all people be entrepreneurs? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So if you're doing it for financial reasons, just climb that corporate ladder. Or if you like even get like a mid-paying job, and you just ride that sucker out every year, probably they're going to give you some kind of raise, 5% raise, 2% raise,
right.
Yeah, you just do that. You get your little benefits, your little dental.
Why you gotta be little? See. Let me stop it right there. See, that's the most. That's how like black people right there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, I heard you got a little job. I heard you got a little car, a little new car. Huh? You got your little house. I see you.
Yeah. If that's you, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, honestly, let's keep it a buck. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Those people are the salt of the earth.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But the entrepreneurs, I would argue, are some of the most misunderstood people out there.
Yes.
Because people just do not understand, hey, why are you being such a jerk? Why'd you fire your best friend? It's not that you're firing your best friend, it's you're feeding your family. It directly correlates like that.
Period.
Right?
There's one thing you do with cancer. You cut it out or it spreads.
Yeah.
So if that person
you just called your best friend cancer.
Oh my gosh. Listen, you cut it out or it spreads, and if that's your best friend, if that's your cousin, if that's your husband. What if you had to fire your spouse?
Do it.
Oh my gosh.
If you don't fire your spouse, then your spouse is going to end up leaving you because you can't feed your family.
That's uncomfortable though.
That's real. You
Imagine
want to talk about that?
Hey,
maybe
Steph,
you shouldn't hire your spouse in the first place.
Ooh, wait, that's another episode right there. Now, my answer. Should everyone be an entrepreneur? My answer is, drum roll, yes.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the first time we disagree.
All right, we out. See you guys later. It's a good podcast. We didn't make it past the 10.
we never made it to 10.
This is why they don't make it.
Listen, should everyone be an entrepreneur? My answer is yes, for sure. Now, this is the key thing that you got to remember. Timing. Say it with me, y'all. Timing. Timing is everything. Yes, you should be an entrepreneur, but what is your time? Some people are raised in it, right? Let's say your dad is an entrepreneur and he showed you the game and things like that. So you may already know it, but some of us need to go work for somebody who's an entrepreneur and learn the game. Like I said, feed off them, glean off of, ask questions, figure the game out, figure out if that's what you want to do, if you're mentally ready for it right now. Because just because you could doesn't mean you should. Because right now may not be the time for you. 5 years down the line, you may have your ducks in a row. 5 years down the line, your kids may be a little more grown. 5 years down the line, your finances may be a little bit more in order. Five years down the line, you may be better. You know what I'm saying? Inside as a person, you may be better, but right now may not be the timing. For me, man, it was difficult coming to Tulsa and having to work a 9 to 5. Like, I ain't worked a 9 to 5 since I was 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think you ever did. It was your first 9 to 5, right?
It was my first 9 to 5, since I was a grown person.
It was your first little job.
First little job. You know what I'm saying? But because the good Lord ordained it, and I came here and did what I did. But I am so grateful for it because there's so many things you learn while you're in there, and especially when it's well ran. Something I always take from y'all is systems.
Yeah.
Systems is how you replace yourself. Systems is how you're not constantly on the baby, having to change the baby every 2 seconds. It's like, oh, I can put somebody here because I developed that system for it. So all I have to do is teach you how to run it. Okay, I can step back. Teach you how to run it. I step back. I always correlate things with the streets. Always, right? So you start, I'm gonna give you a little lesson. You might not. Come on. All right, so when you in the streets, right, we just gonna start with the cannabis because it's legal now, right? You may start selling nickels and dimes and quarters, right? So that's baby weight in the streets.
Sure.
Then you may move up to ounces. Okay. A little bit better. Now, if I'm moving ounces, I can start pushing to other people who are now pushing the nickels and dimes. Then I move up to pounds.
Right.
So I'm now giving you the pounds, and you're breaking them down into ounces, and then they have people who are breaking them down. This is all alleged. It's all alleged. I'm not saying. I'm just giving y'all some type of how it could possibly work allegedly in the streets. I know nothing about that, right?
right. Streets broken arrow,
but so on and so forth. But you can't skip stages.
I think. I mean, there's a whole episode we could do about that too. Is like why most business owners don't want to create systems.
Okay.
And most business owners don't actually want to replace themselves because their identity is actually tied up in their business.
No joke.
We could talk about that another time.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's a difference though. It's like if we're going back to the question is should all people be entrepreneurs? I think all people can be entrepreneurs. But not all people should be. And maybe that's where we can agree on the episode. Or maybe we just end this on a disagreement.
We're gonna end it in the middle because we want the people to decide. And I want the people, let's let the people comment in the comments. Should everyone be an entrepreneur? And take into consideration what he said and take into consideration what I said too. You know
I'm on the right side though, like if we're looking, I'm on stage right.
John, vote for John. My man's no spaces. Or Nishatti. Swahili for energy. You know what I mean?
You gotta spell that. Otherwise, people are just
Nishatti.
Keep in mind that I'm the one that recorded the intro, though.
Okay.
So I am, kind of the face of the podcast.
Interesting. We're gonna vote for that too as well. Let's go. Listen, timing is everything. That's my ending argument. Is timing is everything. It may be. Steve Harvey slept in his car until he was 38 years old. Now he's an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? So wait your time, wait your turn. It can be you. I believe the good Lord.
Should it be?
Yeah.
No.
Work on your character while you're waiting. There's a good one right there. Work on your character while you're waiting. And get around some other people who's successful at what you do. John, anything else before I beat you in this argument?
Oh, please. My peeps got me. My peeps got me.
Hey, love,
Mom, I know you're watching. I need you to comment on there. Say, I'm right. She's not watching.
Hey, y'all, we over and out. Love, peace, and hair grease. We appreciate y'all, man. Holla at us in them comments. We out.